Today I'm going to make a simple starter character, which happens to be a Flappy Bird. So if you hit this space bar, it goes up and down, just like in Flappy Bird. We have a little animation for it. When you start the game, you're not going to go in as a Roblox player. You're going to go in, or a Roblox character, you're going to go in as a Flappy Bird. Now, I didn't bother with the eyes and stuff. We're going to keep this simple, but we can go up and down. Then we can put it in our infinite runner. I'm going to get that. Hold on for a second. Now here, I added my Flappy Bird to my infinite runner on last week's video. Let's go ahead and play it. I got some cool sounds from Roblox. And then we're going to try and do our Flappy Bird with our infinite runner. Oh, we died already. And it is just as frustrating as the original Flappy Bird. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get started. I have a fresh base plate. There is nothing in my world. We're going to eventually get rid of the base plate itself and then have our infinite runner, and we're going to get rid of the spawn location. I'm going to get rid of the spawn location now because I want to put my Flappy Bird right there in the center of the world. So let's get the spawn location, delete. All right, now we're going to add a part. I have the sphere selected. If you don't have the sphere, just hit the little arrow, hit sphere, and we want to put that in the middle of our world. Let's check to see where the C-frame position is. It's almost there. Let's go 0, 2, and 0. Sweet. It's going to be 0 on the X and the Z. You're going to have it 2 for the Y because you don't want it stuck in the base plate. All right, let's find the front of this this part. This is going to be the torso. Let's name it torso. Can't have everything part. It'll get confusing. There we go, torso. Now I'm going to right click on the torso, show orientation indicator. There's my front. So I'm going to obviously put the head on this side. Front is, it'll be sticking out the front, and the little green arrow is the up. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and make the other body parts. Now let's make the head for the Flappy Bird with the torso selected. Let's do a Control D to duplicate. Since my collisions were off, it should have duplicated in place. Oh, let me hit it again. There we go. Something's wrong with my D key. Anyway, I got 2 torsos here. One of these is going to be the head. Straight. Let's change the size of the head. Make it smaller. What's that? 4, 4, 4. Let's make it 2, 2, 2. Cool. It's inside the torso. Hit the move. We're going to drag this out. We could turn off that orientation indicator. I'm going to do that on the torso. Hide, right? Oops. Hide. There we go. That little F there was getting my way. I'm going to turn collisions on so that I could bump it up against the torso. Now put the head wherever you think where it might be cool, right? Maybe I'll do that. That's going to be the head of the Flappy Bird. And let's do a humanoid root part too before we forget. I find that a block is the best for that. This one you have to make sure you know where front is, right? Because that's going to affect the movement and the direction that the character is facing. Front is to my right. That's good. That's what I anticipated. Let's go ahead and rename this to humanoid root part. And it has got to be spelled right. Humanoid root part, all one word, capital H, capital R, capital P. Let's make the size 2 by 2 by 2. Let's put that humanoid root part inside our Flappy Bird. I'm going to have to turn collisions off. Boom. All right, and then I'm going to go to my humanoid root part under the position because I know my torso is at 0, 2, and 0. I am going to put the position 0, and then 2, and then 0. It should be centered inside the Flappy Bird. Now you could make that invisible. I recommend it because when the character dies, all the parts kind of splay out, right? So let's go up to transparency under the humanoid root part. And let's make that 1 so it's invisible. Now let's make some wings for our bird. And I'm going to go to part, hit the little arrow. We'll do a wedge. How's that? That should work. Let's turn it on its side, rotate. That's pretty good. It's a little thick. I think that's what I had in the demo, but I'm going to make it thinner. I'm going to make it, how about 0.5 on the X? And then we'll keep it 2 and 2 for the Y and the Z. Now to make this a little bit easier to line up, I'm going to put that part in the center of my torso. So make sure your collisions are off so it'll go in the center. And then we're going to do a 0, a 2, and a 0. Right? And then I'm going to actually duplicate it because I'm going to need 2 wings. So I'm going to do Control D. So now there's 2 wings. Let's grab one of these. Cool. That one's going to be the right wing, but I am going to call it right arm. Right space arm. Because I want to mimic my, my humanoid R6 as close as possible. I'm going to get this other part. I'll pull that out. And we'll flip it. Hit the rotate. There we go. 90 or 180. Perfect. That's the best thing that Roblox has done. They put that little sign there so you'd know where you're at on your angles. All right, let's make that left arm, right? Left arm. Straight. Let's bump them into the side. So I'm going to hit my collisions, hit the move, bump, bump. Cool. We're also going to need a tail. And now we could do a tail and a beak. So with the left arm selected, I'm going to turn collisions off. I'm going to do a Control D to duplicate that. That's going to be the tail, right? But I'm not going to call it tail. I'm going to give it like, how about like left leg, right? Because we could theoretically animate that too, but I'm not going to. I'm going to move that left leg inside the Flappy Bird. So on the position, I'm going to do 0, 2, and 0 so that it's centered. And that way I can just pull it out like this and go ahead and rotate it. I think that'll work, right? That's pretty good. That's lined up. Yeah, you do it like a little angle or whatever. But before I do any angling on that left leg, I'm going to do another Control D and then just get the beak. So let's call one of these beak. B-E-A-K, is that right? Close enough, right? So that beak, I want to get the head's position. There we go. C-frame position on the head. Control C. Go to my beak. Control V to paste it. Boom, it's inside the head. Oh yeah, and then what we could do is just pull this out a little bit and then maybe make it a little smaller. How about for size? 0.5, I'm going to make that thinner. I'm going to maybe do, how about 0.3, and should I do 2s? I don't even know how big a beak should be. Nah, let's do 1. Ooh, I made a tiny by accident. 0.3, how about 1 and 1? That's not bad. Pull it out a little bit. I know we can start recoloring stuff. Like you can play with this stuff as much as you want, right? I'm doing this quick because it's a demo, video. Let's go ahead and give that a different color. It's getting hard to see the parts. Sweet. And now we can color our bird too. If you want to make it different colors, it's like a purplish, right? You can do whatever you want. I'm gonna do a Control click on a bunch of parts. And then I even forgot what I did. It was some sort of purple, wasn't it? There we go. We got a purplish bird. Not bad. Not bad. Now remember, if we start the game, all this stuff's going to fall apart. We got to attach everything. Let's turn this whole collection of parts into a model. So a bunch of these are selected: head, torso, right arm, Control click, beak, Control click, left leg, and don't forget your humanoid. Now I'm going to right click. And then I'm going to group as model. Sweet. And then I'll call this starter character. Cool. And then just for completeness, and it won't work otherwise, don't forget to right click. And then we're going to look for a humanoid. Don't right click, hit the plus, sorry. Hit the plus, humanoid under frequently used, or if you don't see it, HUM. Right. Oh, there it is. Sweet. And we're good to go. Oh, let's go ahead with the starter character selected. Let's look for primary part. There it is, primary part. Click. It's going to be the humanoid root part. Sweet. Now we have to get some joints in this thing. So I only ever use one plugin, and it's this guy from Archmage. He's really good. I use the Rig Edit Lite. I use the free version. It's really, really helpful. I'll put this link in the description. You click on it, and then this will be like get, right? You get that in Studio. Then when you go to your plugins, boom, you should see it right here. You might have to go to Manage Plugins. If you see that, you see I got that Rig Edit Lite. And this one was already here. I don't think I added that. Maybe I did. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, you can put something in the comments. Oh, no, I got that too. I don't even remember. Anyway, this is the one we want, right? Because we want to add joints, and it's really hard to add them manually. All right, now let's go and click on our Edit Rig Lite. Make sure your starter character is selected. You should see something like this. I'm going to go to this step right now, and I'm going to change that to how about 0.1, right? And that's when we're going to move our joints around. That's going to make it easier. There we go. All right, now I need to get my humanoid root part. Click that first. Control click torso. Hit create joints. And you want to do it in that order. All right. And then we're going to go to our torso and then start clicking body parts. So I'll go to right arm, right? Create joint. Torso, left leg, create joint. Torso, left arm, create joint. And then torso, and then you can see what you're missing, right? I got left arm. How about a head? Torso and head. Boom. And the beak, we could do the beak, or we could just do welds, because I'm not going to animate the beak, right? Or you could actually put those in there. Maybe you want to, right? Torso, beak, you could do a weld, create a weld, or you could just create a joint again. Why not, right? And then we got everything. I think we do. We'll find out in a minute, right? Head, left arm. Do we have left arm, left leg? It's looking good. All right, now we want to move these around a little bit. I'm going to do the arms, right? The wings. I called them arms. See that little brown dot? I'm going to move that to the right by clicking one of these. Move it right at the seam of where the torso and the wing connect. Then I'm going to go to, that's left arm. Let's go to right arm. I'm going to move that in. And I think that should do it. These are the only two things I'm going to animate. If you want to animate other things, you should move the joint to where the two parts are connecting, right? So let's say we wanted to move his tail. Let's go to, what was that? The leg, right? The left leg. We do this, right? You get the idea, right? You want that little brown dot to be right where the two pieces connect. We can animate this now. I am going to click the Edit Rig button right there. That'll go away. And then I'm going to go over to my Avatar tab and then hit my Animation Editor. Sweet. I'm going to click on the bird. And I'm going to call this fly or whatever. Sweet. Let me move this up a little bit so we have a little more room. Now our Flappy Bird movement, our fly, is going to be a priority movement. So hit these three dots over here on the left. I'm going to go to Set Animation Priority, Movement, and then hit those dots again. And I'll just save it again just in case. Let's get our part right here. And then I'm going to move this up. How about 1, 2, right? Get this one right here. That will be, so that was the right arm. This will be 1, 2. The left arm, that's pretty good, right and left. Let's go ahead and copy these. Copy selected. I'll go out to here, maybe at the 5. These are seconds frames, right? You could change the unit right here, but I usually keep it on the default. So timeline unit, seconds, frames. All right, so I'm going to do a paste, right, with these three. And then I go out to maybe the 10th. That's 9. That's 10. Yeah. Paste keyframes. Now this middle one I'm going to change. I'm going to go back to the middle. See that blue bar, that scrubber bar? You got to click where you want things to change on your keyframes. So here, I'll move this down 2 more, right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, I got an extra one. Pop. There we go. And then we'll get save. Sweet. Let's loop it. Let's hit the play. Yeah, that'll work, right? It's a little animation. We could unpause it, but keep it looped. Keep it looped. Hit those dots. Save it again just in case. Check your animation priority. Movement. That's good. And then publish to Roblox. Click. All right. And this window is always too big, and I can't see my submit or my save, whatever it is. Yeah, fly. That's cool. Save. ID. Click that. Click that ID. And then close. And now before we lose it, let's go up here to our starter character, hit that plus, hit an A for animation. Boom, I added it. You can't see it. Where did it go? It went down here. All right, let's call this fly. And then I'm going to go to the animation ID. Here, I'll close that animation editor. Animation ID. And then I'm going to paste that ID. Sweet, right? I can make that a little bit bigger because it prepends the RBX ID stuff right here. So you have to put the number there and it'll be fine. Now let's move our starter character to the starter player section. So here's our starter character. There's the starter player stuff down here. I'm just going to drag it. Starter player. Cool. Now when we start the game, we should start as the character. Animation's still not hooked up yet though. That's going to be pretty easy, but let's just check. Make sure we don't have any errors. Sweep, view, output, no errors. And it's going to move around. Oh, what's this? Right shoulder. That's okay. We're going to fix that. Don't worry about that. And we got that sound. All right, let's fix this error and let's get rid of the sound. So I'm going to stop the game. I'm going to hit the X. And now remember, we're down here in starter character. Let's open that up. We are going to need an animate script. When you start your game, this starter character, if there's something in here, you will become that character, right? But the character scripts, like the animate, the health, and stuff like that, you could override this way. So we had our original animate going in there. That's why we got that error. Let's hit the plus on starter character scripts, add a local script, and let's call this one animate. Has to be spelled the same, right? Animate, so that it overwrites the one that would normally go in your character on startup. I'm going to get rid of this print statement. Sweet. I'm going to do a local char equals script.parent, and then I'm going to get the humanoid local hum equals char wait for child humanoid, and then with the humanoid we can load our fly animation. Let's grab it though. The fly animation is in the starter character. Let's drag it down to the animate script so that it's right under the animate. Cool. We're going to need a reference to that. So let's call that fly anim, and that is on the script wait for child fly. And then we need the fly track from the animation. How do we get that? We'll do local fly anim track equals hum dot animator. It's funny how it sometimes gives you some help there and sometimes doesn't. Animator load animation, and then we're going to get our fly anim. That one. Let's try it out. Let's hit our fly anim track play. We're going to hit play. we're going to see if we have a Flappy Bird and make sure there's no errors. Right? Oh yeah, it's flapping. Oh, we still got our noise though, but we're not getting our shoulder problem. If we go here, workspace, and now we look at SimTech Gamer 7, look at the health is still there. Ooh, look at this animate. Let's open it. Look at that. There's our fly, right? And you got this scale dampening percent that gets added. But we got that fly right there. Inside here, if we look, there's our script. So it's getting loaded up. Pretty nice. I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to close this. I'm going to go back to my animate script. Now, since we don't need a running sound, we're going to have like music in the back of our Flappy Bird or something. Let's just turn a running sound down so nobody hears it. I'll do a local. I need to get the humanoid root part. I'll call that HRP. And I'll do a char, wait for child, humanoid root part. Once we have that, we can do HRP colon, wait for child. The running sound is going to be in there. Running dot volume. Oh man, I'm having trouble spelling today. Will equal 0. Yeah, we don't need to try it, right? We don't need to try it. We can just keep moving on. Let's go to our starter character. And now I'm going to do something kind of fancy. I am going to override the space bar for my own custom jump. So we'll do starter character scripts. I'm going to put this in a separate script. Hit the plus. It's going to be a local script. And then I'll call this custom jump. How about that? Custom jump. So we want this custom jump to work on the mobile too. Let's keep that in mind. So we're going to use the context action service. I'm going to delete that print. And then let me get a variable for my char. We're going to set up the type of jump we want, much like in the flip video. I'm going to do script.parent for the char, and then we'll get the humanoid from the char. Char, wait for child, humanoid. What else? Let's do hum, and then auto jump enabled. Auto jump enabled equals true. And then hum dot jump power. Make it 80. You're going to have to play around with that number. All right, and then hum dot use jump power, right? Because you can also use the height too. You don't just have jump power anymore. So, but I like the jump power, so I'll say true for that. Now, our context action service is pretty cool. This is we're gonna overwrite our space bar or the little space button on our mobile. So I'm gonna say context action service or CAS. Right? Game colon get service context action service, and then I'm going to do a function. I'll just call that space, right? For space bar. We're going to get our action name. We're going to get the input state and then the input object, right? And then we're going to say if input state equals Enum.UserInputType. Is that right? User input state. That's what I thought it was. And we'll do begin, then hum colon change state. Change state. Make sure it's spelled right. We'll get our enum. This is just like in the flip video, right? Humanoid state type dot jumping. Cool. Let's go down here, and then when our CAS, we'll do a bind action. When our CAS is combined with that action, like let's say the space, which is the action name, and then we're gonna do space here, right? So that's function to bind this space. And then let's do a false here. What's that one for? That one is for create touch button. We don't need that. And then that's for your phone, right? And then we'll do enum dot key code space. This should work. Let's try it. Let's try it. Oh, let's put a print statement in here too, just to make sure it's our stuff that's actually working. Print, this is my space stuff. Hit play. I'm a little bit worried. Here, hit our output window. This is my space stuff. Sweet. So we got that. When we did that flip, remember when I did that flip the other week? So we have like a double jump kind of thing going on. Oh, that's pretty awesome. Now we can turn this off, and if we want to put this into our infinite runner where we're actually not going to be moving, we just need to make the walk speed 0, right? So we can go to our custom jump. If you want it to stop moving, do hum walk speed equals 0. Now when you go to play it, it's going to stay in the center. If you have an infinite runner, it's actually the track that's going. Just delete your base plate. Then you have your infinite runner. Things are going to go by. Right. So in the demo, I actually had the camera frozen in this position so you could see him on the side. And I think we should do a camera video too. Maybe get a little bit more of this Flappy Bird stuff in place. Let's turn this off. If you want to save off your starter character, right, what I would do, right, I would get my stuff from the starter character scripts, and then I would drag that into starter character, and then you could just save this off, right, to save to Roblox, then pull it on into your infinite runner. There's your starter character. I would call that like Flappy, we'll call it like Flappy Dude, right? Flappy Dude starter char. And then you can get it in your your infinite runner. Ooh, choose a category. How about model? Right? Save. All right. And next week we could do maybe some camera stuff or move on to a new topic. Let me know in the comments if you guys like this. We'll keep on going.